Hello everyone and welcome back to World of Warcraft Classic. Robert Rambles here and thank you so much for joining me today. We are back in Stranglethorn. We have left the Badlands behind for now, and we're just seeing some different sights. Taking a little bit of a break from the game recently in the past week or so. I've enjoyed some time playing in the Shadowlands beta, and just checking out some other games that are just not WoW related. It's been a decent break. And I think anyone who has played a lot of Classic or played a lot back in Vanilla knows that it's easy for you to reach a point where you start to burn out and the floor of the reality of playing the game falls from beneath you and you find yourself wondering, why am I doing this? What am I working towards? What are my goals? And if you start to feel that way and you can't answer those questions, I find that it's a good time to take a little bit of a break and step back and do other things. And so that was what I did. And it's good to be back in it today. And we'll just kind of play it by ear and see how it goes. We're working on Zanzil's secret. Zanzil the Outcast dwells with his followers in the Jubai and Aboraz ruins, northeast of Booty Bay. He is exiled from his tribe. Why? Well, Zanzil has methods of bending the minds of others, and his leaders fear him. He uses a mixture of jungle plants on his followers to suppress their will and strengthen their bodies. His mixture would be worth much to those who wish to control others. Bring me samples of his mixture. Who did we aggro? Oh, you! There we go. We need to be careful here, because these guys are at level with us or above level, which means they're going to eat through our power word shield really quickly, as he just did, and they're going to have a lot more health than something that would be lower than us. So we need to put out some more damage, and we need to be ready to refresh our power word shield. We really don't want to aggro more than one at a time, which I can't tell if we're in combat with this Naga. It seems like we might be. Oh, this guy is making no headway here. He's level 39 against a 44. I just want to help this guy out so we can get out of combat, basically. So we're going to do that. I will keep him alive. But mainly we just need to take care of this guy. Oh, I didn't really want to pull threat, though. That was not how I wanted to handle this. Anyway, I think we got the quest from a goblin back in Booty Bay, and while I wouldn't give a goblin access to any kind of mind-altering jungle herbs, unfortunately we don't have a choice, because in WoW we just have to do what the quest tellers want us to do. And that involves giving goblins access to herbology that they probably shouldn't have. I kind of want this guy outside the walls. I don't want him in here. I'm hoping this is going to line of sight him. I am getting less sure. Okay, it's not line of sighting him at all. Apparently the wall is not a wall. The wall is a lie. That's really unfortunate. I like my walls to be actual walls and not objects that enemies can cast through for obvious reasons. We have made a little friend, it seems. Okay, he's off. Maybe he realized he's a little bit too low of a level to be here. So I don't know if it's just the witch doctors, or will the zombies also have the mixture? That I'm not sure of. There's a big resist there on our Holy Nova. He's decided to come up and punch us in the face. Ooh, we have a mage helper. That's very useful. Level 48 mage. That was a really hard ice bolt that just obliterated that guy for about a quarter of his health in one hit. We are still doing a waterless run. No, that's not a real thing, but it's becoming a real thing now, isn't it? Which means we'll probably have to start finding ways to conserve our mana. I'm glad we have a talent that reduces the cost of all of our instant cast spells. That's actually really helpful when we have no water to drink. We got a random green there, let's take a look. There it is. 8 agility, 9 strength, male gloves. Somebody either just died or ran out of range of John the Crow here. We don't need him, and we're not going to fight him unnecessarily. Let's approach from the other hill. Hunter, are you going to throw something at me? He is carrying a spear. Let's just try out the level 43 zombie. And we'll pull out here a little ways to the road. That way it might just be a little bit safer. Now there is another camp of these guys. If we clear all of the ones here and we still don't have 12, we do have another option to go to. Part of me worries that they might be a higher level at that location, but I don't really know for sure. Oh, look at this, we've pulled an extra. This is exactly, oh great, he's immune. Of course he's immune to fear, he's an undead. This could very well be the end of us. We don't have a lot of leeway here to pull additional enemies. Oh look, a horde PvP NPC, just what we needed right now. Maybe we can outrange one of them. It sucks to lose the guy that we have almost killed because we aggroed somebody else that must have been hiding around a corner of that building. Interesting. So we're here. We could go down here and I think we would find more of the same. And at this point, I'm almost inclined to do just that. What's happening here? We're getting buffs, okay. Oh, we got Blessing of Kings. Could have really used Wisdom. Can't really complain too much. Now, the question is, how do we get over here? We might have to run all the way back and cut up through this little culvert here. Not sure. Don't really want to do that right now. I'd love to keep fighting them in the same area, but they're hiding behind walls and whatnot. If we can get to this beach, it might give us a clearer view of their encampment and allow us to pull a little bit more safely. Let's mount up, shall we? See if we can find some way there that doesn't involve a lot of backtracking. Yeah, I don't think we're getting there anyway except going all the way back. That looked remarkably closed off. And I don't want to keep aggroing more enemies. You'd think there would just be a way that these would be connected somehow, because they are outposts for the same type of enemy. You would think maybe they'd want to communicate between the two camps or something like that. But I did not see an access road or anything in the back of here that could connect us through the mountains. But either way, I don't know if we're going to get 12 mixtures here. I mean, we could if these guys keep respawning like this. I guess it's possible. I just don't like not being able to see all the enemies back here in this other structure. Interrupted our holy tree. Oh no, he just interrupted basically everything, it looked like. Well, it looked like all of our spells were put onto cooldown from that. He has enough attack power to eat through our power word shield pretty efficiently. And again, he's done that. So we don't really want to fight these guys if we can avoid it. Are we clear on this other side? Yes, we are. We're going to try to pull him way back. He's going to throw this spear at us, I think. But I want to pull him out here so that we don't have any surprises. He seems confused. He's not doing anything. Oh good, he stood there for the last little bit of his health and didn't take any actions. Pretty unusual. But I'm not going to complain too much about it. If we hit this zombie, he should run to us. I'm hoping he doesn't pull the guys on either side of him. There we go. All the way out to the road with you. Same thing here with the hunter, we're just going to keep pulling them back. I'm worried about respawns. These guys aren't moving around too much. They don't seem to run away. But they are respawning a little bit quickly. Oh, look at that, level 43. I wasn't even paying attention to our experience bar. And when you see rested experience like that, that's when you know you haven't been on your character in a little while. But that rested experience is almost crucial. It would be crucial to many a normal playthrough. I remember taking breaks to let the rested experience build up later on in leveling because it just made things seem a little bit faster. Let's see where we want to spend this point. We might as well just keep going into Force of Will and continue increasing our spell damage. This will bring it up to 3%. And also it'll improve our critical strike chance. Seems like our best option at this point. I see a lone zombie over here. Now we might be okay to fight where we're at. I'm assuming that most of you who care about it at all have already heard the news that Shadowlands has been delayed. It was originally supposed to launch on the 26th of October, and Blizzard have delayed that to sometime later in the year. And they haven't specified a date for the launch of Shadowlands now, but they have told us that the pre-patch, the 9.0 patch with the level swoosh, and the new leveling experience will come out on October 16th. So October 16th is the day that I'm looking forward to starting a playthrough on what will likely be a Dwarf Shaman. And we'll check out the new leveling experience that comes from level 1 to 50 along with the pre-patch. We'll also be looking at the max level pre-patch events, but the quest chain is not very long from what I understand, so there might not be a lot to do there, especially right away. But I think that delaying the game was ultimately the best move that they could make. response from a lot of people who tested it thoroughly seemed to indicate that there was just a lot left to do in the game to balance it, to balance the classes, the Covenant abilities, the conduits, and to smooth out the leveling experience from level 50 to 60. So it just seemed like a lot of things needed work. I know the endgame part of the Maw needed a lot of work, and so I'm really hopeful that their decision to delay the game, which is basically unprecedented, they haven't done it since Burning Crusade delayed an expansion. I'm hoping that really makes Shadowlands into the best possible version of itself, and that we'll have a great 2 years or however long with the expansion because of this delay, and that it won't result in a lot of patches needing to come out that fix problems that existed. Kind of the way BFA had a cycle of most of its patch content wasn't really content. It was just new systems and fixes to existing systems that they had to keep iterating on to fix basically the mistakes that BFA launched with. So I'm hoping that the extra time on Shadowlands will lead to patches that just have a lot of content in them, and they don't have to spend so much development time fixing all the things that are broken because they'll have had this extra time prior to launching the game. But it's Blizzard, so we'll have to wait and see, but I am optimistic. Yeah, it's the trolls that are going to run and really get us into trouble if we're not careful. We're not going to pull these guys. We can sneak back here. Maybe. I do need to loot this, though. Can we get close enough to loot? Perfect. And maybe we just fight this one back here. This seems like our best bet. Well, it appears that we have some respawned enemies. Let's see if we can take the Witch Doctor out before the zombie paths back. Had to be a little bit more aggressive there to make sure that he didn't have the opportunity to run. And now we should kind of check out where did that zombie path off to exactly. And are we ever going to be able to loot this guy? That would be probably not, I guess. Interesting, so we might have a body there that we can never loot. I hope that we're still able to collect all of our mixture and that we don't have one just sitting on that body, unable to be picked up. Conversely, I could run in there and bubble and still loot and hope that they don't just daze us into unconsciousness. That's something that maybe we'll do here. Let's see. Can we do it? Okay, we did it. Let's get out, reset them one more time, and then come back in. We only need 4 more. We did get dazed though. Oh, and he's now also immune to fear for some reason. Didn't think the Naga would be immune to fear, but he is. Let's take our high ground back and see what we can do to just pull one at a time here. Well, look at that. That's an incredibly inconvenient respawn that we ran into there. He didn't seem to be there at one glance, and then we glance again, and there he is. Very, very fun. And for some reason he has the same leash that the zombie had, even though one was considerably closer to where we ended up than the other. That's fine, we can take him on first. Okay, let's look behind us. There's nobody there. Well, besides that person. Human paladin. He's not going to run, so if he hasn't aggroed anybody yet, we should be able just to fight him where he's at. The problem with that, though, is that we wouldn't be able to loot him. So, let's pull him back. Looting is important. We need to grab this zombie before this paladin does, because pulling either one of these two is going to be considerably more difficult, seeing as how they're going to come together. And we can't really handle two of these guys, I don't think, at our level. I think it would be really tough. I don't want to have to go completely out of mana, because we're trying to be mana conservative and mana conscious, so... let's just try to take on this guy. We can grab this witch doctor who just respawned. Apparently our wand is not going to finish the job here on its own. We are, however, going to pull him back. Well, can we capitalize on this in any way? I think that we probably can. And we can help the paladin probably at the same time as we help ourselves. Interrupted. Of course, why not interrupt us? And this is why we didn't want to take on these two together, because with all the interrupts, we would not have lived. Not with being locked out of our holy spells as often as we were. It would have been a really bad time. So I'm glad that we played that the way that we did. I am going to try to grab this witch doctor. Let's see how that goes. It's a nice crit, good way to start. However, we have a respawn behind us. That's going to throw a huge kink into all of our plans here. Well, maybe not that huge after all. Let's see if we can avoid anything else spawning on top of us. However, we are going to be really low on mana after this one, aren't we? The good news is we only need 2 more items. The bad news is we are getting low on mana. I think we're going to be fine. It might take us a moment to discover our next enemy that we can actually pull safely, so... any of these guys is gonna come with an ad. So this is how we could have seen this more clearly. If we'd have come over here, we wouldn't have been surprised at the ad that we got when we pulled through this doorway. I don't think it's safe to grab any of these guys and not expect all three of them, unfortunately. What did we leave on this body? Okay. What is the big flask of mojo? Apparently it's not special in any way. Our zombie friend, who we fought back in the corner moments ago, has respawned. Let's go ahead and take him out. Alright, I don't trust the area. I think that there are going to be a lot of respawns in there. We just need to make sure that we're fighting everything out here until things start to come back up. Alright, John the Crow has already respawned. His body is still here, so that's, you know, a little bit unusual, but it's what we've come to expect in our classic experience as far as respawn rates are concerned. Oh, it would have been cool if Shadow Word Paint had ticked one more time. Probably would have helped us out. There we go, we got lucky there. That he didn't find any friends. And we got lucky there that he had the last item that we need. I'm fairly sure this turns in back in Booty Bay, so I'm going to go ahead and I will take us down there. And I will see you guys there. And yes, it does unfortunately turn into a goblin, which means we're about to hand over a mixture of things that will allow this goblin to influence people's minds. Not the smartest idea, but what choice do we have? Do you have the sample of Zanzil's mixture? We do. Ah, very good. Here is your pay, and here is a little something extra for your discretion. A belt we can't use. How lovely. Keep it real. And he has no more quest for us today. And this is kind of where we're at, where we can do one quest at a time. There aren't many places or areas where we can handle multiple quests at once. Sometimes because there aren't multiple quests in the area, sometimes because of a level disparity between the quests in the area. I think from here we might end up going back to the Badlands. We have a study of elemental rock that I picked up that we can do, where we have to fight some rock elementals. We could do that. I left the Badlands because visually it's kind of a boring zone aesthetically, so I didn't feel like spending a lot of time there since there weren't a ton of quests to do outside of the couple that we'd already tackled, but we can go back and get some rock elementals. That's definitely something we can do. What quest does he have? Oh, a fetch quest. Okay, well that explains why we dropped that from our log probably a while ago, something that we'd probably need to do, but that is just a time-consuming quest of run here, take an item to somebody, and bring an item back, probably. Not the most stimulating of content, but something that likely needs to be done for the experience alone. We are going to take a break here, however, and I'll try to plan out something more interesting for the next episode. Maybe it's time to start doing some dungeon runs. We could do Scarlet Monastery Cathedral at this level, and we might be able to do Uldaman, although I'm not sure about the latter. I'll have to check. As always, thank you guys so much for being here today. Take care of yourselves out there in this world, and take care of each other, and I hope to see you back in Azeroth again soon. Bye now.